Hey, everybody, good evening. Welcome to the stream. It's me, DIGI. We are back at Lafayette Regional in Louisiana, and I am doing a little bit of talkie, mostly Devi streaming. We are continuing the groundwork at Lafayette Regional, Paul Fournier Field, and I need to jump right back into what we're doing and just continue. Last time we were here, we made some changes to some of the layering for the runways. And based on what I can see, I think I am relatively pleased with the outcome because we had runway tire marks and whatnot on the runways before, but I feel like the changes that we've made, the improvements, have benefited it and made it look a little bit more livable. Now, the top-down camera might not do a good job of conveying the labeling that I've done to the runways, but these runways did not have as much detail before. And the easiest way to see that is by basically taking care of the editing rectangles for now. You can still see some repetition, but I think with a little bit more blending on this runway, I'm going to go ahead and fix that up. Nick, have a great night. Thanks for stopping by. Really appreciate you saying hello. Take care. So, let me do this before I do anything else, because it's going to bother me until I actually do it. I'm going to fix up the layering for the east-west runway, because for some reason, even the latest changes that I made don't seem to be as I don't know, sufficient. But you know what? This might be about as good as it gets. I might have to play around with the labeling or maybe even dirty this up some more. So I won't take as long. And honestly, depending on how many people use this runway anyway, I might leave it alone. Since this is essentially a freeware offering, I'm not going to stress out about it too much. I think what I need to focus on right now is getting the taxiway built, which I believe is going to go here. I need to take a look at the flatsim.to page for the scenery request because I need to see what that layout is like. Now, one of my good friends, Mwindo, actually gave me a layout with what appears to be at least a partially constructed taxiway Foxtrot, which goes as far as the hotspot between Foxtrot and Bravo, and the east-west and the tiny north-south runway. I need to figure out how to render that, and I thought I downloaded it, but I'm going to double check right now. I should be able to get that very shortly, so just stand by, chat. Let me visit the site real fast. I have an airport master plan actually from a while ago, actually. But I want to see if I can actually see where the oh, that's interesting. Now, I'm trying to figure out. Yeah, it is definitely in Louisiana, that's for sure. And I'm trying to figure out what the taxiway layout's going to look like. There are plenty of layouts, and I think these layouts are the new taxiway layouts, which are going to go into effect, or are in effect, but I just can't see them right now. And if you guys want to see what I'm looking at, let me share my screen with you. So, where's my browser view? browser window capture. Not picking it up. Hold on. There we go. All right, so you guys should be able to see what I'm looking at right now. Let me move this into place. Dun dun. Okay, so essentially, what's going to eventually happen is that you're going to go from having the terminal where it is right now in default scenery over to where it is, I think, IRL at the moment. What I'm trying to figure out is how I can get a crisper idea of what that taxiway is going to look like. This is probably going to be about as good as it's going to get. I can't tell without zooming in, so I'm going to zoom in some more. Yay, this is like vector. So that is runway 4 left, 22 right, and this is taxiway Foxtrot. Foxtrot is eventually going to go all the way up to where taxiway Lima is. So no time like the present to get started, right? Let me do this. I am going to do the following. I'm going to try to figure out what the best or the closest approximation is to the taxiway, because the taxiway Echo is apparently going to disappear. I don't know if taxiway Bravo's going to become taxiway Echo. I don't know. I do know that this taxiway is pretty much going to continue the same way it is right now. And what I'm guessing is that's just going to keep going straight across. So if I take that into consideration, it's going to feed right up near the top here where it exists. So, I guess what I need to do is approximate what this taxiway is going to look like using apron textures and as much bleed through as possible. So the trick is I'm going to have to keep in mind that not everybody has the MSFS map enhancement mod, which I'm using to get latest Bing imagery. So I may have to get crafty with the grass textures here and blend different things together so that we can create a better image. All I can tell is that there are these squares equidistant on the right side of the taxiway, and I might take advantage of that to line up the taxiway and then just keep it going. So, no more talking, Digi. Time to start doing. I will, of course, be here, folks, if you want to chat, but at the same time, I'm probably not going to be chatting too much. I should be on until about, I'd say about 10 o'clock tonight, maybe 10:15, and then I will hop off. Also increase the volume if you guys like hearing flight sim sounds. And there we go. This may be about as good as it gets for now. Honestly, it's not bad. It's not as wide as I'd like it to be, but I mean, it's probably not going to be that wide. Sorry. Try it again. Alright folks, I am back. Have my microphone muted for a call, or I thought there was going to be a call. That's alright. Also, sticky candy. Don't know if you guys ever had those candied orange slices. They're good. But they're also very chewy. Right. So I think the actual issue here is that there's going to be a taxiway which is going to clearly go kind of cut right across the grain. It's going to chew this up. So for now, what I'm probably going to do is keep it about as wide as this piece. And then we're going to run it all the way out. No, that makes no sense. Maybe it's like one rectangle wider. That would make more sense to me. And there we go. That is the general, I don't know, blueprint for the new taxiway that's going to be there. At least that's my perception. I don't know how close to reality that is, but we'll have to start somewhere, right? It's literally called doing the best you can, and sometimes it's all you can do. And we will call this something. Call this 1129. Two right, 4 left. Taxiway. Foxtrot. Bravo. Echo. And we're going to grab I think the generic texture, which is Asphalt Generic 3, colored to the 50s. And no ground merging. Increase the priority. And then we're going to say coloration. Yeah, it's about the 50s. Right there should be fine. So with this in place, I'm probably going to have to figure out how this is going to work out. I'm probably going to create the taxiways. And then apparently there's some spots out in the open. I don't know, cargo ramps, wait areas. So there is tarmac. There is tarmac there. So what's going to have to happen is It's going to go right past this piece. And we're going to add another spot right here. And honestly, it's the best I'm going to be able to come up with for now. What's that? Okay. Okay, so we're going to actually expand on the tarmac, and in the spot where the tarmac would have gone, that's not bad actually. Okay, in the spot where the tarmac would have gone, we're going to create the piece. And literally, here we go. Wait, hold on. Before I do that, let me go grab some map imagery. I'm going to take myself over to KLFG. Let's go. Oh, my bookmarks. Okay, so actually it looks like they're going to keep the taxiway diagram the way it is. Okay, never mind then. Let me see. I'm gonna check a few different sources because I'm confused about what's going on. Would have kept the other taxiway the same had I known. Okay, show me satellite or bird's eye, don't care. Okay, so both Bing and Google Maps show me the layout of the terminal, the new terminal, but they do not show me the any work being done. Actually, hold on, I'm wrong. The Bing imagery shows me what I'm seeing right now in the sim. The Google Maps imagery shows me the layout plus the new taxiway, and they are going to exclude, well no, they still exclude it. They're going to exclude the things. Okay, alright, never mind. We're going in full throttle. I'm going to create this like I said I was going to. So literally what I think is going to happen is over on the I guess the tarmac's going to stay put, and then we're going to do this. So I think what's probably easier for me to do is to grab this and keep it at a constant angle like here, and then once it gets to just about above where that circle is, we're going to do this. Okay, is that right? I mean, my apologies in advance to everybody that goes here IRL. I'm not trying to butcher the place. I'm just trying to get as close as I can to actually demonstrating what it's supposed to look like. So, I don't know. I think what's going to happen is the hold on. I think the cutoff needs to go diagonally down. That doesn't make any sense to me. Why would they cut that piece off? I don't know. So, okay. My version 1.0 here, so we're going to go ahead and avoid that. And then we're going to create the cutoff. But the cutoff would have been a lot further down. So what gives? I don't think... Let's see, where's the road? The road is, I think, further up. No, that's the taxiway. That's the actual taxiway. And it shouldn't actually touch it. It's not going to, per se. But I feel like this is wrong, but I'm going to do it anyway. Because I have to, I have to do something. So we're going to cut in across this piece here. Let's zoom in. I mean, it is what it is. Like, we're going to figure it out as we go. I want to say, I feel like groundwork's going to be a lot easier to fix than, you know, having a bad, I don't know, taxiway layout thing. So let me take a look at the imagery, and it does look like they keep the asphalt where it is and the concrete where it is. So we'll just stick with that, and we will do what we do. So, since I'm assuming asphalt's going to bleed over more into the concrete than concrete into the asphalt, we're going to just be a little bit more generous with where we lay the asphalt down, because I'm a lazy developer and I don't feel like carrying that much right now. And we can come back and fix it up later, add more points, decide what we're going to do with the layouts, etc., etc., etc. So we're going to take this line all the way down to here, and then I'm probably going to get really close to it and then just go outside. Actually, no, take that back. Overlap it on the inside a tiny bit, and then we're going to kind of drape the asphalt all over the place. Yeah, yeah. Alright, so I'm back. I got an idea for covering the asphalt here. In the end, like I said, I'm going to be layering this to try to present a better effect. I'm not going all the way in and across because I think that's concrete all the way in there. So I think, give or take, that should be good. And I want to say the sidewalk ends about. Actually, that's a good question. Where does the sidewalk end? I'd say about here. I'm not going to concern myself too much with the road network right now, at least not yet. And then we'll figure out how to actually cover the rest of it. So we'll take a little bit of John Glenn Drive that just pulls in here, and then we will cover the rest of it real quick. My guess is this is the entrance to the general aviation hangars. The shadows here, I'm guessing, insinuate that there is some kind of fencing or perimeter. So, how am I going to do this? Pictures are going to come in really handy. Until I can get those pictures, I'm not going to worry about that too much. I'm probably going to put the asphalt right up to what I believe is the concrete boundaries. And then we will have a good border in place. I think those are paint lines on the ground. And I think this is actually a border or a literal fence or, concrete barrier. So like I said, I'm going to do the best I can. And then I'm probably going to either create a base layer or create this in pieces. It'd probably be easier for me to create a base layer first so that I can actually come back and do everything later. And if I'm going to do that, then I'm going to skip those lines that I created. And I'm going to put in here. So we'll go pretty much all the way into here. I'm not eliminating the fence. I'm not getting rid of, different things that I believe are going to be there. I'm just going to set up the ground cover first. And I'm not going to spend too much time dressing everything up perfectly. I want the general idea to be there. I don't want to spend time sweating details that probably the vast majority of flight simmers aren't going to pay attention to if we're talking about folks that just casually fly in and out of the area. I'm not saying it's not worth taking the time to implement every last bit of detail. I'm just saying I want to focus on getting some quick wins and doing this airport justice without stressing out about every single detail, every single, dip and divot, and presenting an experience that is enjoyable without also going utterly bananas trying to model a whole bunch of stuff. Because I know me. I don't know if anybody else is a scenery developer that's lurking or, is in chat. But I know that the quest for nailing details down sometimes can get exhausting. I mean, I'll give you my case in point. I've been working on Plymouth Municipal Airport for the past couple of years, but it really hasn't been the past couple of years. It's been just weeks and months over the past couple of years because I've been busy with life, and when I get involved with the airport, I try to put as much detail in as I can. Now, there is a point at which you kind of have to take a look at the reason why you're building it, and you go, wait, how much detail can I actually put into the airport, and how much detail is actually required? Like, a lot of folks make mention of this when they fly and they stream, and they say, hey, like, how much detail is too much? Like, how much detail do I actually legitimately need? Do I really need to have, X, Y, and Z present? Do I need to have, A, B, and C here and all this other stuff? Like, how much stuff is required and how much stuff is just going to be, eye candy for me? In the future, I hope to learn stuff like levels of detail and be able to apply things that optimize the scenery experience for everybody flying into and out of my airports so that it's easier on their computers, so that they don't have to be stuck with, not long load times, but I'm saying I don't want anybody to have long load time, but so they won't be stuck with an experience that makes them go, hey, wait a minute, why does it take so long to load this airport, and what's going on? So that is what I guess I'm trying to discover. I'm trying to figure out, hey, how can I do this so that it benefits as many people as possible while also being as detailed as possible? And that's kind of the other side of scenery development, like creating an airport that's dazzling enough to really make people happy they downloaded it, while also making something which is optimized and efficient enough to work for pretty much anybody that actually downloads it. Because some of us only still have a 2060 Super. Some of us only still have a Ryzen 5 or an Intel i7. It's an Intel i7K that we've managed to water cool and overclock to, say 3.5 gigahertz or something like that. Something, like not necessarily anything particularly slow, but not necessarily very powerful. So it's like, okay, what do? How do we actually approach doing this? I'm trying to be as equitable, well, as considerate of others as I can possibly be. There you go. There is the answer. And if I take a look at the layout, I think the layouts out there are going to be fine. I'm not worried about the taxiway past this runway. I'm not worried about it. It's when I get the line out to that point. And this is going to be a base layer. This is going to be overwritten by probably a few things, including differently colored layers, smudges, oils, maybe oil spills, grime. In general, I want to make this airport look like it's been used. Now, there is absolutely nothing wrong with making a shiny new runway for people to land on. And that's what I've done in the past too. But I'm also trying to experiment with making my airports look lived in or broken in. So, in one sense, yes, that's what we're working on. And I'm going to take some artistic liberties. And I get the feeling this is going to come back to really kind of bug me a bit. But at the same time, I'm going to do the best I can with what I've been given. And by the way, folks, I appreciate you stopping by tonight. Even if all you do is lurk, you are boosting my channel algorithm, and I appreciate that. I am trying to do what I can to, I don't know, raise awareness for. Am I trying to raise awareness for senior development? At least in my own way, I am. A little bit. Do I care about this piece right here? I want to say I do, but I've got to be careful about how I do this. So, I'm going to try an approach here. This could backfire on me. Let's see, what time is it? Oh wow, it's getting on down. I'll probably be on for like another 10-15 minutes or so. But after that I will call it for tonight, and then we can I can figure out what the rest of the week's going to look like. I really am trying to keep my format to about an hour on most weeknights, barring any pre-existing conditions, so to speak, you know, obligations, family or friend events. So I am trying to be diligent while also being open to the possibility of not having a certain stream on a certain night. In general, though, I'm going to do what I can. I'm going to do anything and everything I can to stream a minimum of a half an hour to an hour each night for office hours. And some of those nights might not be any microphone audio like you're hearing right now. Some of those nights might be microphone audio. It's probably going to lean more towards quiet streams. But, you know, stay tuned each night, and then you'll see. In general, I also have a Discord where I talk, and I sometimes I should be more diligent about that, but sometimes I share when I am online. And I don't think I have to overlap too much. I think I can go right up to the line, say, and I can use overlap to cover the edges. if I did this right, what should happen should be that all those areas in between those red lines should be covered by a material that I can actually, substitute for whatever it is that I want. And then I can call it. Wait, that's right up to the line? I guess so. Wow. That seems supremely odd. So I'm gonna give it a little bit more. If you like the content, by the way, and you're at all curious about how to support me and how to support the channel, there are several things you can do. We'll start with the ones that are free. You can always just drop in. You can drop in and lurk. Lurking, visible lurking. What's visible lurking? Lurking's lurking. If you come in and you lurk, and I see that the overall viewer count is up, that means that people are actually watching the channel content, and it's, like I said, boosting the channel algorithm, which I'm very happy to see. So I appreciate that. The next step up, of course, is doing things such as chatting. So you can actually chat. Actually, you want to know what? I think I'm going to get rid of all those dots that I made before, because I'm going to go with the futuristic layout, which is going to include all this being covered up by asphalt. Let's see, where was I? That goes currently over there. The ultimate taxiway line is going to come kind of down here and out that way. Yeah, so there's going to be a taxiway coming out this way too. That's a little weird, but that's fine. Which I think... Yeah, okay, so what's probably going to have to happen is that I'm probably going to have to change and update this some more. Okay. I sidetracked myself, but I'm just realizing this might actually even go beyond where it is right now, and then we're going to create a kind of, I don't know, spin around, turn around. This is extremely tricky to see without having a good basis for everything that I'm trying to accomplish. Ah, I see. Okay. Okay. You guys aren't seeing what I'm looking at right now, but essentially what's going to happen is this is going to be very kind of angular, kind of like what I did before here, and okay, I'm just gonna have to pretend because I don't have any idea what to do. This is either gonna work out really well or it's just not. And essentially what has to happen is I think this line goes all the way down, and there's actually going to be another taxiway line that comes out. There's going to be another taxiway in between Foxtrot and Lima, which I'm assuming would be golf. But I don't know. not going to sweat the details too much. I'm going to put the line here, and then I'm going to let that line kind of, does it go? Let's see. Oh, okay. Okay. I'm paying attention to the wrong line. Yeah. Okay, so it's going to be an even sharper line. This taxiway is going to be gone. So there's an even sharper line out to here. Which, again, is going to seem really weird because I'm literally creating taxiways out of thin air. Literally. Actually, what am I doing? Goodness sakes. I should have thought about this when I got started tonight. The scenery request page for Lafayette Regional on flightsim.to has an airport layout. Or it should, at least. So I'm going to sign in and see if I can actually see that layout right now. Standby chat. Open up another window for charts. Navigraph.com. And I'm going to sign in, and I'm going to see if I can find Lafayette Regional. It shouldn't take me too long. Hopefully it won't take me too long. It's in Houston. And now I'm going to look for Lafayette. Okay, so now we've got the airport, and now we've got the layout. Okay, so the current layout actually does have taxiway Lima and Papa. There is no taxiway between the two runways, and a taxiway that kind of feeds out from Alpha to Foxtrot is actually not there right now at all. So let me do this. Let me... Okay, so basically, I'm gonna... Wait, can I do this? Can I slew while I'm actually doing development? I probably can. Okay, I didn't lose too much time, so I'm not gonna freak out. There is a taxiway that's being built. That is actually true. That's actually correct. So... I should probably lay it out. And then take it pretty much all the way back down to Foxtrot. But wait a minute. I just created Foxtrot. So, because I created Foxtrot, I don't need to worry about it too much. Okay. So, don't mind my slight ineptitude here. Right. So we're going to do what we did before. Only we're going to do it faster now. Because I have a general idea what I'm going for. And I'm not going to sweat the details too much. Right, did you? That's right. Alright. Once I get this layout done, I'm probably going to call it a wrap for tonight. And then we'll talk about what's coming up next. Now we have that piece, and this, and this. And this takes time. This definitely, unavoidably takes time. I've said this before again and again and again on this channel. I'm going to keep saying it. This is the not so glamorous part of scenery development. You're going to be working on, you know, ground layouts, airport layouts, runway layouts that are going to make you kind of go, ugh, like, I have to keep doing this? Ugh. And yeah, that's kind of it. Like, yeah, you're gonna have to put in the time to create something, and it's not always gonna pan out, and it's sometimes gonna, you're gonna work on something like I was working on over the summer. I was trying to figure out how to build, what is this? I was trying to build Odell Williamson Municipal Airport, and I was starting to work on the actual building, and I got most of the building set. In fact, I'm probably going to go back to the building and see if I can fix it. But I got to a point with the building design where it literally became a question of, why isn't this working? And then I checked the polygons and all that stuff, and it just looked like something happened which completely and royally messed everything up. And I just got to the point where I was like, you know what? I need a break. So I stopped what I was doing. I stepped away from the project, and as it turns out, I saw a post for Lafayette Regional on FlightSim.tl. Nobody was doing it, and since I have a soft spot for, viewers' choice projects, if you will, and because literally I can't stop myself from taking on another project, I decided to go for it. And that's literally what happened. And I'm glad, because this has reintroduced me to parts of the process that I like, which is essentially doing the deal, doing the projects, getting things done, and I don't know, trying to do better, trying to actually do better. And it does look like, at least in part, the this general hunk of asphalt out here is actually going to be chopped off. So what I think is going to happen is, right about here is where the cutoff's going to take place. And then we're going to do one of these things, and then we're going to move it on over. And I'd say probably just past the blast vents and then down. And then what I'm assuming the blast fence is going to do is separate those two sections of the airport, separate Skywalker Aviation from the terminal, and then we're going to do one of these things where we actually create, actually that's too much, do one of these things actually, and then probably right about where this piece of asphalt is going to be where this is probably going to go out to here. But I don't know that for an absolute fact. And I guess that's kind of what's cool about creating creating a taxiway where there wasn't one to begin with. What I probably should have done should have been to use the Google Maps layout, just so I could see the taxiway in general. But it's just what it is. Like, it's literally going to be there, and boom, done. So I'm probably going to do this, and then where this goes out to is going to be pretty much where I do this. And I think that's probably going to do it. Once I zoom out and I hit that enter button, we're going to have all this area covered. And there you go. This represents the remainder of the, I guess, asphalt area for the terminal. So, before I do anything else, I'm going to save my scenery twice, because I'm a teensy bit OCD like that, and we're going to name this, and we're going to combine this to say taxiway Lima, Papa, and I think the other taxiway is Foxtrot. Let me see. No. Lima, Papa, Foxtrot, Alpha. Okay. And this is going to be 2 left, 4 right. Taxiway Lima, Papa, Foxtrot, Alpha. I might rename that, make it, more palatable to read off, but basically what we're going to do is we're going to slap on a generic 3, and then we're going to take off ground merging, and we're going to enable coloration, and probably keep it. Actually, let me see. Did the satellite imagery show anything? It did actually. There is an actual concrete section which is going to go into the taxiway, and I'm not sure if they're laying out concrete which is eventually going to be paved over, or if this is actually going to be concrete that they're going to be taxiing people down on. I mean, concrete taxiways exist, but I don't know exactly how that all works, so I'm going to take it a step at a time. My guess is it will be a concrete taxiway, but I don't know. So with coloration, we're going to say, there we go. And this is going to be essentially a generic base layer for the asphalt. And if we run into any issues with the asphalt not being totally covered here, which it kind of, sort of, just in a little teensy bit way looks like we did, we can add a meter of fall off or half a meter, and then you gotta have the impression of the asphalt kind of spilling over. And I can do this for pretty much all the taxiways or the aprons, and I'm not going to get into it too much right now, but if you take a careful look at places like, say, right here, was that it, or was that a different taxiway? Hold on. There we go. So if I do a meter of fall off, then what's going to happen is you're going to see a slightly different result, unless of course my priority is not that high. Let's see. There we go. See? And that's kind of the deal, like when you're laying down asphalt and you got all this, like, vehicular traffic, like, flattening it, doing all that stuff. It kind of bleeds over because it's just the way it works. I would even say half a meter is good, if you want to be neat about it, which I kind of do. Okay, so, we're at about an hour 17 right now, so technically I should be signing off, and I think I will. I'm tempted to start messing around with the grass textures and creating the grass runoff area that's going to be here. I also need to load this in with the standard Bing imagery that currently exists in the sim, just to see what the differences are and see what it covers and what it doesn't cover. But I'm going to just play around with this and see what happens. I'll continue to work on, probably the next step for me is going to be finishing the cover up of the general area, And I think what I want to do is, for example, with places like this, I'm going to want to subdivide the points so that things are maybe a touch more smoothed out. And then that's it. So we've added the general asphalt area. We can add the general concrete area next time. And then that'll be where all the buildings are going to go. Once we have the general layouts done, we can start filling in the holes where the grass textures are going to go. And I have a feeling that I'm going to potentially fade in the satellite imagery as you get closer to the actual runways, because you're not going to have conflicting textures, and I don't want the grass textures to repeat too much. I'm going to experiment with some techniques, I think, this week to try to not fix, but we're going to try to cover up these areas, especially if there are parts that are clearly showing something else, like, additional roads or whatnot, without making textures that repeat too much. Like this area here is going to have to be covered by grass, but we'll see how everything lays out. And I think the next time I boot into the sim, I'm actually deliberately not going to start MSFS map enhancement just to see what's underneath all this. So I'm going to hit the save button and we're going to build this, and then I'm going to go ahead and call the project done for tonight. I think I'm comfortable enough with the ground layouts right now to say that this is going to be saved and backed up, and then we'll continue to work on layers of like dirt and markings and whatnot before we get to actually adding the painted lines for vehicular traffic, taxiways, all this other stuff, and then we'll see how it turns out. I'm going to try to go through painting the taxiway lines as fast as possible. I don't want to focus on perfection. I just want to focus on creating a much better experience than what's in the sim right now. And then maybe at some point I can come back and really spruce it up. But I'm not going to create something that's absolute garbage either. I just want to create something relatively quickly without spending too much time thinking about, oh, this can go here, this can move another 5 inches. It's like, wait, at some point you have to make the decision between continuing to tweak a scenery and releasing it. Story of my life. But folks, thanks so much for stopping in today. If you'd like to, and like I said before, ways to support the channel: you can show up and lurk, you can show up and say hello, you can follow, you can, I think you're not going to be able to chat anyway unless you follow. You can consider subscribing, never required, always appreciated. You can consider cheering or donating, and those proceeds will go towards the channel adventures, and to potentially even possibly starting a business. I mean, technically I did when I sold my first scenery, but yeah, towards building the business up. Otherwise, folks, I'll probably see you around the Twitchverse tonight and throughout the week. And as always, like I like to say at the end of every stream, if you want true peace, you want the Prince of Peace, and that is Jesus Christ. Friends, take care. Have a great night. Thanks for keeping me company tonight on this little journey of senior development. And until next time, we will see you.